Well, good morning, Sean, again, and I just want to take the first moment just to welcome you all, welcome our current students back, and a special welcome, of course, to new students, and introduce myself to the new students. I'm the Reverend Jim Holland. I go by Rev, and I teach a lot of courses here. I have a cat named Peekaboo, which you may or may not hear about this year, and I end up, as part of my job, talking a lot to you, to the students and the staff. So hopefully I won't bore you to death this year. But you'll get to know me, hopefully not just on video at some point. So I can imagine all of you sitting in your common rooms in your houses. Some of you I know are excited, some are maybe a bit anxious, some of you are curious, some of you are disoriented, and I think maybe all of us have a little bit of those things, all of those things. So welcome, and relax, enjoy, take time to get to know each other and to get to know the school. So it's a year that's going to be a year full of challenges, and I always like to distinguish challenges from inconveniences. So an inconvenience is something you gripe about. A challenge is something that we get together and do something about. So I like to say that challenges are actually gifts, and if that's the case, this is going to be a wonderful year because there'll be lots of challenges. So I wanted to talk a little bit about chapel. This is chapel time. This is kind of proto-chapel, or a chapel introduction. And what I wanted to talk about was that, you know, we won't be together in chapel in the foreseeable future. And I know that's difficult for a lot of us. But what I've been thinking about is not just what chapel is in terms of what we do there, but what is chapel in terms of the reasons we do it? What is it that why do we do chapel? And those of you who've been around have your ideas about that. But I wanted to share a few. Because I think chapel is a place where we get inspired, where we inspire one another to be our best selves, to live the kind of lives that we want to live. And it's also a place to think about that question: what kind of life do we want to live? Chapel's a place to kind of prod ourselves to reflect on the deeper issues. What kind of life do we want? What are the most meaningful things in our lives? What's really important to us? So chapel is very important in that regard. It's a place where we pray, and I know we come from all kinds of different backgrounds and points of view, but I always think of prayer as simply intentionally holding in our hearts the people and the issues that are important to us. So we do that, and of course the main thing about chapel is that we come together as community to support one another, to kind of build that bond of community, to build that bond of family, which has always been part of Shawnigan for the last 100+ years. So this year, you know, since we're not going to be in chapel, I don't know if it's the right phrase, we're kind of going to blow chapel up, you know, if that's the right way to say it. That what I'm suggesting to you is that it might be a good year to look at how to incorporate all those things that I just talked about, the inspiration, the thinking about, reflecting on big questions. How do we do that throughout our day, throughout the community? How do we make that more a part of our life? How do we incorporate that into our use of social media, for instance? How do we take a little more time and be a little more intentional about everything we do, so that we're really supporting each other through, as I say, a year that's going to be fraught with, you know, difficulties, some confusion, but I think in some ways this is our year to really shine. So what about chapel in general? How is it really going to work? To be honest, we really don't know for sure. It won't be this every Saturday. Hopefully we'll be able to incorporate some of the old elements of chapel. Please, if you have some ideas, or if you have things that are really important to you about chapel, absolutely come and talk to me about that, because it's really together that we're going to find our way through this year. It's together that we're going to find our way to create a kind of chapel experience that is meaningful for all of us. So that's my little reflection. I want to turn things over now to the headmaster and some of his friends.
Welcome to Shawnigan, and welcome to the beginning of term, academic year 2020 to 21. It's been a very strange 6 months not having students on campus, and all the staff are so thrilled to have the students pouring through the gates yesterday, today, and we are so excited to have you back on campus. When you drove into the gates, you will have passed the Shawnigan statue on your right-hand side. And if you read that plaque, it says, "This stag will take care of all who enter our campus and our grounds." And that's exactly what we're going to be doing for you this term. I've got a few people here I want to introduce. We've got Mr. Clinton Baker, Assistant Head Student Life. We've got our 2 co-heads of school in front of me, Abby from Strathcona and Craig from Ripley's. And we're just going to have a conversation with you to give you a little introduction into Shawnigan September 2020. So my first question to our 2 co-heads of school: what are the best tips you can give new students to Shawnigan, but also those who are coming back and re-enrolling at the school, as to having a successful time at Shawnigan?
So for me, I would say Shawnigan is such a large community, and I would say that coming as a new student or even a returning student can be super overwhelming. So what it took me a long time to learn was that it's really important to ask for help. If you don't know where, say, the math building is, if you don't know where to get your uniform, everyone here wants to help you, and so just ask us. I'm always open for questions. What about you, Craig?
And something for me would be definitely just getting a part, like joining a community and taking part of any chance you can, and jumping on those opportunities for making new friends and different activities for sure.
So Craig, just in addition to that, maybe a word about the hair.
Yes. So I've been growing out my hair
It's slow.
since
Shaggy.
yes, since about I'd say February, and I am going to cut it for Cops for Cancer, and I am going to do it in honor of my stepmom, who had coronary cancer, and luckily she survived it, and she has sacrificed a lot for me coming to Shawnigan, and I thought it would just be one way to show my my thankfulness towards her.
Right, so there's, I have noticed there's a few COVID hairstyles out there, so you have 2 choices: either get it cleaned up as soon as possible, or if you'd like to do as Craig is doing, commit to shaving it, fundraising of course included for Cops for Cancer. Right, second question. Craig and Abby, if you notice that someone is struggling or needs help at Shawnigan, what should you do?
Well, again, like I said before, I would just say to go up to them, introduce yourself. I find that me as a new student, I did really struggle with this big new environment. And I really appreciated the people who came up and talked to me and were always making an effort, like Craig said, to be my friend. So I think that if you are seeing someone who's struggling, you should definitely just go up, introduce yourself, say hi. Everyone's just as nervous as you are, so just go for it. You have nothing to lose.
And going with that it doesn't matter your grade. You don't have to be in grade 10 to help anybody out, or you don't have to have any sort of leadership position with the school. I think even if you're a new grade 8 student, you can still help out other new students who may be struggling and looking for answers.
You're both grade 12s. You talk to us about some challenges you faced in your time when you were lower down the school, and how you coped with them and how you responded.
Well, at the beginning of the year, every year I've had the same problem where I always got super swamped with the schoolwork and meeting the new people, and then sometimes I just felt really overwhelmed. So something for me that just really helped me was just like getting to know my roommate. My roommate and I have been together for 4 years, and she's really helped me through everything. And I know that a lot of your roommates are new as well, and they are going to be your people, and they're always going to be there for you in your room. So I'd say talk to your roommate as well as your housemates, but know that also everyone needs their alone time. So the campus is so beautiful, so if you're feeling super overwhelmed, go for a walk, go take a look at the fields, go take a look at all the 2 nice ponds. There's so much beauty to look at on the campus. Yeah, so that's what I would say.
And I'd say, sort of quoting Abby, is definitely look towards your friends. I would say that my friends have helped me out through a lot of my time here at the school, and have just been there for me when I really needed them. And it's definitely a bit of a rocky ship. Things tend to fall on you all at once, and it's okay to be overwhelmed. Everybody 100% experiences it throughout the year, and for looking for your friends is definitely the route that I take.
Right, so the next question or the next topic will be school prefects. Now, one of the things that we spoke about already is a group of prefects. They're a fantastic group this year. Is as student leaders, we can do a certain amount. But also, and this includes all students, if you notice that somebody needs help and you go up to them and you realize this is a job for an adult, go to a trusted adult and you'll know when that's necessary. Right, over to Craig and Abby. When talking about prefects, maybe you guys could just give us an idea about what some of our priorities are for as a prefect group, a group of school leaders, which of course this year has the group of school prefects as well as the heads of houses who are also prefects. What are we aiming for this year, guys?
Well, I guess some new kids don't actually know what a prefect is. So I would say that the prefect group is a group of grade 12s who are just really committed and who really want to make the school a better, more welcoming, inclusive place. So one of the couple key things that are important to the prefect group is we really want to know who you guys are. We want you guys to know who we are and what we stand for, and we want you guys to know what we do and what is important to us. What would you say, Craig?
I'd say the biggest thing is also helping out students. That's definitely one of the bigger things. Sometimes people might not be too inclined to go ask a member of staff or a duty member, and that's where we kind of come in and play our role, is helping out maybe the tougher times that you might not want to ask anybody with authority or anything like that. I'd say coming to ask and helping out.
Okay, so now this is the speed round. Abby and Craig haven't had any heads up about this round, so first things that come to mind, one answer for each question each, please. First one, what's the best house on campus and why?
Ripley's, because we are the best.
Strathcona.
That's just how it is.
Strathcona.
Okay, you didn't say why.
Because Strathcona has the color blue. We use Miss Connolly as our house director. Our emblem is a swan.
What's your house motto?
Cherchons.
Ours is acting on verba.
Okay.
So
Which means?
Okay.
Actions, not words, or
Always
over words.
looking, searching, being better.
Good.
Cherchons.
What's your favorite inter-house events in the whole year?
Inner house, rugby, or
Inner-house track and field.
track and field. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another good one.
Great.
Definitely.
MTV?
What is your favorite food that Mr. Setso and his team makes in Marion Hall?
Meatballs, or no, pierogies. Oh, pierogies.
I like pierogies and curry. Curry with the little naan breads.
Oh, the non-breads.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
so good.
So good.
Okay. Name one other prefect besides yourselves and list one thing they're good at.
Saya Tanaka Campbell, because he is always there to help. He's very open-minded. He is just one of the nicest kids I know.
Jasmine Wheeler, because she's my really close friend and she's super quirky, super open, super funny, and she's always willing to talk to anyone and make them laugh.
And last but not least, say we're looking for Craig Mitchell Herman or Abby Dyer. You're in your spare time. Where are we going to find you?
Ooh, I might be in the gym, but also studying. I like to study sometimes.
Okay.
Abby, not spending any time in the gym?
I may be in the gym, shooting some hoops. I may be at strat. Also, I may be in the quad, sitting.
Yeah, playing
Yeah.
rugby. That's another big thing I do.
Yeah.
Sort of one final question I've got for you both. What's your best tip for the students as we step into a different type of term as we respond to COVID-19?
I'd say just be aware and just listen to lots of the key details that either your house director or other members of staff or even other kids in your houses, or just definitely pay attention, and I think you're golden after that.
Yeah. I would say to recognize and realize that this is going to be a different year, but different doesn't necessarily mean bad. So I think just keeping a positive attitude, just being open for anything, and this year's going to be really, really fun. So, yeah.
MCB, what about you for the pandemic response?
There's a lot of details, but really, when it comes down to it, follow the routines like these guys have said, use your common sense, stay spread apart, and we'll keep things clean. Simple.
And my final message is it really is all our responsibility to get this right. Because if we get it wrong, students have to go home, school has to close, but we want to get this so right. We've been waiting 6 months to welcome our students back to campus, and we're going to work extremely hard. But each person on campus needs to take that individual leadership and responsibility to make sure we're keeping our campus and our community as safe as possible. And my final message is always the 4 C's of Shawnigan: conversation, compassion, community, and courage. Those four C's will get us through this term. Over and out, over to the Rev.
Well, thank you for that, folks. And thank you all. I'm just going to turn things back over to the House directors. You know, perhaps you want to discuss some of the things that you've heard over the last 15 minutes or so. In the meantime, I look forward to meeting some of the new students face to face and seeing the old students in person. Have a great week.